Doing basic emergency preparedness is a wonderful, brilliant way to honor yourself, to take care of yourself, and just have the basic necessities. Even if you live in a very small location or don't have a lot of funds to put into that, just do the best you can to have some basics, a way to have clean water.
Hello, everyone. Today, I'm super excited to welcome back Wendy Rose Williams onto the Celestevolve podcast. Welcome, Wendy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderfully. Thank you so much for having me as your guest.
Thank you, Wendy, for coming. What people don't know is Wendy hosts something called a channeling experience for the group, and I have moderated for a couple of those events, and they are absolutely wonderful. I highly recommend everybody, if you get a chance, please do check it out. So, Wendy, because you're doing these events, you probably can tap into what's happening with the collective, right?
Yes, I feel we all can. Yes.
So what is coming through now? How are we doing as a collective? What's the energies that's coming through? How are people feeling now?
This is Archangel Michael. As a powerful question, it's a great way to start. Everything is feeling topsy-turvy for many people. There are more extremes just showing, and many people are feeling wonderful. They're feeling hopeful. They can feel the peace on earth energy that is here. You cannot fully see it yet. I am a realist and I understand we've not yet um, seen that in the day-to-day life, but that energy is here. That emotion is here of peace on earth. So let's just let that sink in for everyone. And what is occurring right now is it's an incredible purge. There's so much letting go of the energies that are not serving Earth, that are not serving humankind. And that's why there's so much, what can feel so tumultuous, what can feel so difficult, so challenging. And just that's why so many people are so disheartened and depressed, frankly, by the news media, by the programming. I stress the word programming. It is your choice how to seek and bring in information for yourself. And I am just reminding you what many of you know is that the news is not uplifting. It just brings down the vibration and frequency for many people. It causes a lot of stress. It causes a lot of anxiety, concern, depression, and it has an agenda. And I ask you, are you being in your power when you are allowing listening to a television program, a radio program, a podcast, and you are feeling more and more fear and you're feeling worse and worse and worse, or you're feeling more and more angry, disillusioned, more like giving up? Is that serving you? I think not. So make your choice, make your choices. You have free will. That is the most incredible power that you have to make your choices of what you choose to listen to, who you choose to believe, who you choose to associate with. The answers are within your heart. So take that time to go within and learn what's true for you. And then you can listen to, participate in discussions, read, take in information in a much more calm, discerning, peaceful way. Honing your discernment is key. And then you can listen to um, intelligent discussions and just know, okay, that's true for me, that's not true for me. And it will help you understand yourself more fully and better for it as you really have that discernment. If something that you're hearing, listening, participating in makes you feel fear, that is not an agenda that we encourage. It's just not the place that you're meant to be. If it makes you feel loving, peaceful, if it helps you open your mind, if it helps you open your heart, that's different. That's the place you want to be. That's why it is so important and helpful to have a daily spiritual practice. So you're able to ground your energy, clear your energy, raise your vibration and frequency, and just do that on an ongoing basis, because the collective is going it's rising, it is going up. The vibration and the frequency on the planet and of the collective is going up. Is that true for every person in every moment? Certainly not. We see some very difficult toddler behavior, let's call it, where there's just an intensity and an anger and a frustration and an acting out. But that is useful too. Everything is useful because it's just purging, and it's letting go of things that are no longer needed. Did that help? Did I answer your question? Do you have a follow-up question or a different question?
We see these right now, the media is filled with the fires at LA. They talk about this being a man made natural disaster, or I mean, not natural, a man made disaster. Why is that true? And why is that location picked up? Are there going to be more such events coming up?
Yes, that's a wonderful question too, because it is in the media so much. And let's talk about Los Angeles, California. LA, City of Angels. Los Angeles is the city of angels. And because it is the home to Hollywood, and because it is the home to so many well known actors and actresses and well known personalities, there's some unique things about the geography that make wildfires uh, devastating. They can be devastating anywhere. Texas, Alaska have had more damage actually from fires. And I'm only speaking of the United States. Of course, there's so many other countries on the planet. But it's man made in the sense of humankind is causing global warming by the different behaviors, by the actions, by the activities of all the things that are going on in your modern world. So in that, with that underlying sense of there just being so much dry vegetation, when a fire does get started, and fires get started by so many things, many of them are caused by man. It can be power lines, it can be a cigarette, it can be a fire that was meant to burn a small pile of leaves, or it can be a car backfiring or machinery. It can be directly from nature. It can be a lightning strike. That's so much more rare, but it typically is caused um, by humans, with that underlying cause of there's more devastation because the earth is so much hotter and drier in so many places. Earth needs to cool herself off. I mean, that is why you are seeing, and it's very much in your news, when there is volcanic activity, and when there can be then subsequent tsunamis from that. And just there can be, because you do have such a global media reporting 24/7, that it just can be then communicated very very quickly. Is there more? What else would you like to discuss?
Archangel Michael, with the old Earth crumbling, right? We see the organizational structures going down. We are not able to trust the health organizations to take care of health, governments to take care of our safety, or schools to take care of the education for our kids, corporate world to keep us safe financially all the time, banks to keep our money safe, media to provide the right information. With all of this coming up, once all this crumbles down, whatever it is, like, or is it going to happen? I'm not sure how long it's going to take. What is going to emerge at the end of it? Who are going to be the new leaders? Who is going to be the new source of information? Whom do we trust? What would be the new structures that would come out?
That is up to all of you. It is a powerful, powerful question. It really is the key question. And you are all, humankind is creating what that new earth is going to be. And people are creating different realities for themselves. And you're absolutely correct. As we know, just so many of the structures are just crumbling because the trust is not there. We're going to see more governments fall, most likely. And nothing is constant but change. So just employ your free will to create, to visualize, what do you want to see? What do you want to experience? And create that to the best of your ability. And you can just take those small steps and just be involved locally. Just follow your heart. Some of you certainly will be on a bigger stage, but there's no judgment. Everyone is needed in creating that new earth. And again, remember, the heaven on earth energies of peace, of love, of joy, of gratitude. The more time you can spend in that energy every day, and when you get triggered, very understandable, release the emotions. Find ways to do that and just balance yourself again. Just sometimes we just need to take a break from whatever we're doing that's gotten us to that point and just walk away for 15 minutes, walk away for an hour, do something else, recenter yourself. And then you just naturally are able to raise your vibration and frequency again. And then just be back in that place where you have those emotions and are feeling and creating what you want to create. Because yes, it is very, there's never been such profound change as is going on now. It's very needed. So the visionaries who can imagine and see what that looks like, and it can be things like neighbors knowing who their neighbors are, and neighbors helping neighbors once again, because that had gotten lost along the way in many of our big cities, and people just didn't know who lived around them, even in the same building. So just having those things change, because that is what disasters, and I use that word carefully, what can seem like a disaster, the power going out for a few days can be considered a disaster. Because yes, it does have an impact, but that can just get people into communication face to face and helping one another. So that energy is very, very beneficial. Doing things like knowing how to grow food is very useful, and that has been lost to many, many people, and they just don't feel they have a way to do that or have any knowledge about that. And just doing basic emergency preparedness is a wonderful, brilliant way to honor yourself, to take care of yourself, and just have the basic necessities. Even if you live in a very small location or don't have a lot of funds to put into that, just do the best you can to have some basics, a way to have clean water, something like a way to clean water, to filter water, to have some emergency non-perishable food, some batteries, some warm clothing, whatever it might be, and to just flashlight, lantern, and just prepare those things for yourself is very, very helpful. What else? What else can we discuss? And certainly there are other ascended masters and angels here that may come in if there's a question that they can answer better. I don't mean to hog the floor here, so to speak.
I wanted to understand more about Archangel Michael itself. How are you dif- related to God? I mean, I don't understand the concept of it. Like, how are archangels different from ascended masters and related to the source?
Certainly. I sit at God's right hand. Archangels are simply angels. There's different classifications of angels. I don't want to get caught up in hierarchy, but I'll just say simply that archangels have very specific roles, and we have been around for eternity, and we're just part of the divine system that is there, and we are able to assist humankind when requests are made, because Earth is a free will planet. So you do need to make the request. We do not go around deciding for you and choosing for you. You do not want to be powerless. You want to be sovereign, meaning fully in your power, making your own decisions to the best of your ability. And absolutely, you are encouraged, you're welcome to call on the divine, whether you relate to the concept of God, of Shiva, of Buddha, of the universe, of Kali, whoever. It does not matter what your belief system is. I'm not here to proselytize and say you should believe this or not believe that. It's absolutely your free will choice what you believe in. If you have a concept of a higher power and a divine power, ascended masters, most angels and archangels have not lived on earth. There are exceptions, but most in general have not had human lives. We're simply a different type of being, of creature, of divine entity, and we have a different perspective. We're much more of a collective, the angels are. Ascended masters have typically lived on earth many, many times and have progressed and progressed at the soul level and have become ascended. It's a funny word. Have risen up to be a master, an ascended master amongst the divine, is no longer typically incarnating on earth. So they have ascended from those lifetimes on earth and have mastered what they needed to master from this beautiful planet and many lives on this beautiful planet. So, Saint Germain, for instance, he is an ascended master who, in his last life on earth, was Le Comte de Saint Germain. So, he was in France, originally from Bavaria, in a human life, and that human life actually stretched for hundreds of years in one healthy body. And that was his last life on earth. And then he ascended and became ascended master, Saint Germain. Does that help kind of understanding that distinction?
Yeah, it does. This does help. Can you tell us what would be some of the misconceptions that we have about angels?
I think some of the misconceptions that come up are, there are a number of them. Sometimes people don't feel worthy and don't feel that they're allowed to or able to ask for help or that they should be asking for help, because they may have been taught via a church, via religion, via family upbringing, that only certain holy people can work with angels, or they may have been taught by the religion they're not meant to work with angels. They should only communicate directly with God, or whatever the different belief system is. I'm here to say, please, please be in your power, make your own choices, and really look at those belief systems and know that you're not a prisoner of them. You're absolutely able to make new choices and decisions, and just have those old belief systems fall away from you, like an outgrown, too small coat or skin, like a snake sheds its skin. That's often what happens with near-death experiences, with spiritually transformative experiences, when someone has a crisis and a loved one passes on, or there's big loss in their life, be it a job, a relationship, a home, whatever it might be. That is really an opportunity. People are being shaken awake in many ways, and can examine those belief systems and say, well, what do I really believe? What really makes sense for me now that I've had these new experiences and these new challenges. So it is absolutely your choice. You cannot get it wrong. Some people do not like to, don't feel comfortable calling on angels or anyone or God or anyone outside themselves, and they just want to be very self-reliant. Well, then become best friends with your own brilliant higher self, your own soul. And some people just aren't comfortable with the concept of the soul. So, oh my goodness, it's all over the map of what the different belief systems are on the planet, and people can go through many stages in their life. So that's some of the things that we're seeing. But please, my invitation is open to you. Angels, there's so many angels here, because very close to Earth and gathered around, because Earth is at a pivotal time, and Earth is very important in the galaxy. So there's so much help that is available. You simply need to ask for it.
Thank you so much, Archangel. I when I try to channel or get into meditation, the message that I get often is as well to relax, to meditate often. And I think one of the things that keeps stopping me from meditation is all the other distraction that's there in life, which is the things that you're supposed to do. Then you've got social media, you've got Netflix, and all of these things.
All the
How all
distractions,
the
yes,
distractions, right? How
the
can
busyness.
I, yes, the busyness and all that. So, how can we try to incorporate meditation or those spiritual
Yes.
practices more?
Fantastic question. Let's just change our definition of those, because Wendy went through that also, and she was very resistant to learning how to meditate when it would have benefited her greatly. She was a very busy single working mother with two daughters for many years, and just felt like her hair was on fire, just so busy and exhausted. That's someone who really needs a spiritual practice and meditation. So let's just make it accessible to everyone. Meditation does not have to be for an hour a day. It doesn't have to be sitting in a certain position. Or a spiritual practice. It's simply relaxing your mind, your body, and not having so much chatter from that left brain that can just be not taking a vacation because you're too busy, you're too exhausted. So it can be when you're in the shower, when you're in the bath. That's a great time to just relax, just cleanse your energy, let go down the drain, anything not serving you, bring in more of what does. Ground yourself to Mother Earth. Just do it while you're in the shower and bath because you're already doing that on a daily basis. It can be while you're washing the dishes. That can be your meditation. Maybe you're folding your laundry. Maybe you're doing a little dusting. Anything that's quiet. You're wiping down your counters, raking, you're gardening, you're pulling weeds, you're planting seeds, just whatever, just something that's quiet, and you're able to just get into that calm within your body, and you're getting your left side and your right side just more centered, the right side being the active masculine side of the body, the left side the feminine receiving side. So you're just getting them more centered. So it's getting that left brain and right brain centered. So you're center brained, and that of course just drops you down into your heart and down into your wonderful gut wisdom. So it's just doing it as you're falling asleep at night. That's just a wonderful time to just review what you were most grateful for in that day, what you most enjoyed, let go of what was challenging or stressful, just set yourself up for a great night's sleep. It's a great time to speak with your own higher self and with your guides, with God, whoever you would like to communicate with as you're falling asleep. You can ask to go to a healing temple and to stay there during the night so your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit can really regenerate and just rejuvenate, replenish itself, and get great sleep and wake up with plenty of energy to not be such a ping pong ball of just stress and overscheduled and overbooked. Anything you can do to be out in nature. If you don't have time to go for a 3 hour hike, fine. Go for a 10-minute walk right around your own block, right around your own yard, right in your own neighborhood. If it's pouring rain or freezing cold, just get out there if you have a porch, a balcony, anything with a little bit of cover, just step out into that fresh air. Maybe you've got some plants or trees to admire, to tend to touch, anything to be around. Trees and water is especially helpful for just a spiritual practice of just getting more in your body and more grounded to this beautiful planet that we're on. Again, inviting your higher self and your inner child to be fully in your body and just letting go of everything else. And that will help you feel happier, feel healthier, feel more confident. A daily spiritual practice can also include tending to your chakras, the life force energy centers in your body, root chakra at the base of the tailbone spine, on up to the crown chakra at the top of the head. And if you don't have time um, to spend 20 minutes going through and balancing them all, that's okay. Just do it as part of your morning ritual. Do it when you're in the shower. Do it when you're falling asleep. Don't put off doing these things because you're thinking, oh, well, that's not meaningful enough or respectful enough or the right way to do it. Let go of what's the right way to do it. It's just not helpful. It's just not serving you. All the um, shoulds and could'ves and would'ves, they're just not serving you. So just keep it simple, have it be fun, and just give yourself a pat on the back for just every day, doing something. It might be while you're brushing and you're flossing your teeth, and you're just repeating a beautiful mantra to yourself or an affirmation, or you're listening to some uplifting music or an uplifting message. That's a very appropriate and fine way to do it. Or you're dressing for the day, or whatever it might be. So just make the time, and just again recognize you are an energetic being. You are a soul. It's chosen to have a human experience. So these are just some ways to work in that quote daily spiritual practice. Also, you can broaden your definition of what that is. It does not have to be meditation. And again, meditation does not have to be glued in place, because many people have too busy a mind for that, and or they may need more exercise. Walking meditation, again, particularly by trees and water, it really is highly effective, even if it's only for 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you can work in. It's very helpful. Yoga is a marvelous spiritual practice, and again, it's combining getting some wonderful exercise and movement in, as well as just very calming for the mind and the energy. Might be drumming, might be dance, it might be singing bowl, it might be journaling. And your spiritual practice can change from day to day, because if you do the exact same thing every day, it can feel stale and not as satisfying over time, because you're always changing. So just change it up, and just enjoy that daily spiritual practice. And please do not beat yourself up if there's certain days where you're very heavily scheduled, emergencies came up, you're tending to work, your home, your children. Again, just take that moment in the shower, or as you're falling asleep, or when you first wake up in the morning, because those two times when you're transitioning in and out of sleep, they're very powerful, because you're in that beautiful receptive state to be able to communicate with the divine, as well as with your own higher self. Does that help? Does that make it more practical?
Oh, it does. It does. In fact, my eyes just popped when you said yoga, because last year, the year before, and when you said that we have to keep changing, or we do keep changing, because last year I was into automatic writing. Then I wanted to do channeling. Then in the last 3 months, or in the last month, I started to get these sudden inspiration to do yoga. So I signed up for a yoga teacher training course, and I started doing Ashtanga yoga. And so when you said all of these things, it resonated very deeply with me. And I wanted to ask you, and you said yoga is wonderful, right? Although we talk about yoga being something that increases mobility, flexibility, calms your mind, etc., I feel like there's still something very deep about spiritually, or frequency wise, or vibrationally, something to do that yoga is influencing the energies. Can you tell us
Yes,
more about it?
it can really calm the mind and help you get in your body in a very peaceful way. Many people don't like their bodies, they're not great friends with their bodies, and it's just really helping you seat your soul into your body. When you sit there in that position where you're really on your sits bones, and it's just a perfect time, really invite your higher self in, and feel your connection to Mother Earth as you sit there with that beautiful straight spine, and just bring more light into your spine, and then feel your vibration and frequency going up, and feel yourself connecting with the divine. Many people will start to feel their kundalini rising at that time, and it can just then go on up through all the chakras. So yes, there's a reason that yoga has been taught for thousands of years.
Wow. I feel like it's like maybe 2 years back, I knew exactly what I wanted in life. I had certain goals. I knew exactly what I would be doing when I would be 70 years old, 50 years old, and so on. Now, though, I have no idea what I want anymore. Whatever I wanted doesn't resonate with me anymore. And even if I let's say last year, I was like, oh, finally, I know this is exactly what I want. I was so sure of something. And now a year later, I'm not so sure about that anymore. So I feel um, like I don't know myself anymore, and I don't know what sort of goals to set forth anymore. How are we? What exactly is happening? Because usually I
What's
know, yes.
what's happening is many people were, yes, were very goal oriented, and there's a lot of socialization in that. It's very left brained, it's very masculine. Many people were taught that's how to get ahead. What exactly does that mean? It, and those definitions are just really coming, they're really coming, crumbling down. So when you can learn to enjoy the ebb and flow of energy and to follow what has the most energy to it, like you gave the example of being a little bit surprised that your interest was changing so rapidly in these different spiritual practices, and trying on and trying out those different things. That's wonderful. That's a way to get to know yourself more. And yes, we can feel a bit like a ship without a rudder, when we start to realize, oh my goodness, it's not all about the, oh, what was, 7 habits of highly effective people. And, write down your 3 month goal, your 6 month goal, your 12 month, and your 1 year and your 5 year. Well, everything is changing so rapidly, it's not as meaningful anymore. So, again, what if we change our definition there? What if your goal were to be happy? What if your goal was to be healthy? What if your goal was to be free? What if your goal was to be growing and spontaneous? And this doesn't mean that you don't do the basic things that you need to do on a daily basis. You still need to take care of children, take care of yourself. You still need to make the meals, clean up from the meals. You still need to take care of the home and what you're doing for an occupation. Take care of animals. Those things are still there. But what if there was just more grace to it? What if there was more freedom and more flow to it? I'll give two quick, funny examples of that, from Wendy's life, because she's had her MBA degree since she was 22 years old, and she was raised with a lot of focus on goals and planning and organization. So that came uh, pretty naturally to her, and she excelled in those areas. Then, when she had her first baby, she had her first child, a very wanted, a very loved child after years of infertility. And when she had her first baby at the age of 34, she was in a baby parent group at the hospital with a very wise nurse who was running it, who was in her probably late 50s, early 60s, and had worked with thousands of women. And she said, this was so many years ago that people were still using a daytimer calendar at that time. And she said, okay, those of you who came to baby parent class today with your child, with your diaper bag, if you've got a daytimer in there, I'd like you to pull that out. And sheepishly, most of the room pulled out their big schedule, because it's before iPhones. And she said, I'd like you to take that daytimer and now think about what your life is like as a new mother, as a new parent. I want you to take that day timer and just throw it over your shoulder and throw it out of the circle, because that's not how your life works anymore. You cannot schedule things the same way, because it depends. When does the baby need to eat? When does the baby need to be changed? Uh, what are you going to do about those 10 loads of laundry that somehow mysteriously just grew from this little tiny human being? And it's a great example of learning how to go with the ebb and flow of energy, because that's what it's like as a new parent. And I think everyone is taught that. And some people who've been very successful, very structured business professionals, or whatever's been going on, it's a very interesting dichotomy for them. Does that example help?
Oh, that tremendously helps. Thank you so much. You were speaking about being happy and being healthy. And you know what? These are actually the things that I'm pursuing these days because, unlike before, let's say I was trying to be someone that society wanted. So it was the things that I wanted were different. However, now when I'm trying to be my authentic self, the things that the world typically says are what makes you successful has changed. So it makes total sense to me. Speaking of health, now we are totally confused. I'm totally confused about what's healthy and what's nutritious because whatever we are taught or whatever we are, yes, whatever we see or what we see on social media where they say carbs are poisonous, eat a lot of protein, then have these sort of protein powders. So this is the kind of information that we are getting a lot. But is that true? Do we actually need all of this protein? Are carbs bad? What was what were the things that people I mean, because you also channel Yashua and Mother Mary. What did Yashua and Mother Mary at the time have to fuel their bodies? Do we need food, etc.?
Yes. The food supply has changed remarkably in the last 100 years in particular, and people are not eating, often are not eating the whole foods, the nutritious foods that are right around them. So whatever you can eat that's as most natural as possible, and people, different bodies are different. Some people need more protein than others. Some people can, enjoy and eat dairy. Others cannot, and are surprised to learn that they really feel better if they do an experiment and give up or really limit the amount of dairy for a month. So think of your body as, a wonderful, wonderful experiment, and just follow follow your own intuition in that area. And sometimes it's beneficial for people to work with a naturopathic physician. Other people are just able to hear clearly for themselves. Many people in the United States, in particular, are having issues with high blood sugar, with diabetes. It has become an epidemic in the United States and in some other countries because of the advent of fast food, because of the advent of there being so much sugar worked in as an ingredient. It's very hard to buy things that don't have it or don't have a lot of chemicals in it. So it's really become a tricky area. But many people have metabolic uh, syndrome and metabolic issues where they really cannot eat that many carbohydrates because their body is too efficient at turning those simple carbs into high blood sugar, into prediabetes, into diabetes. But that can absolutely be reversed. So a nutrition plan, I don't love the word diet. Diet sounds restrictive. It sounds like something awful.
Yes.
But nutrition, just healthy nutrition. Mediterranean diet is very, very good for many people, with lots of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, fresh fish, fresh seafood, those sorts of food, and with less meat to it. But again, it depends on the person. And if you're making a big change and you grew up and were fed and were used to having a lot of beef, a lot of chicken, a lot of pork, a lot of dairy, and you're now trying to make that change to go vegan. Oh my goodness, that would be a tremendous and likely a very difficult change for the body. So you can just make things gradual, and just choose to cook, and to eat differently, and just start just swapping out for some healthier choices, because carb addiction, sugar addiction, it is a true profound addiction. There are brain studies, there are MRI and studies that show the pleasure center in the body of someone that has a sugar or carb addiction, which is many individuals, and shows the pleasure center in the brain when they're eating that drug of choice, that chocolate bar, that um, a tremendous amount of bread, rolls, whatever it might be, and the pleasure center just lights up more than it does with crack cocaine. So it truly, and then people can feel very ashamed, and they're like, why can I not be a healthy weight? What is going on? Why do I continue to just gain weight? And what do I do to get um, to get this turned around? Because it just gets into a spiral. So, finding those good meal plans, and it comes down to whether you're a good cook also, or whether you're willing to learn, because anyone can learn to cook. It doesn't have to be overly complicated, but can learn to make some healthier meals. Choosing to air fry something. There's appliances to Instapot. I mean, there's appliances that can help people nowadays, versus what used to be the only choices available. So, but just for many people, I think that Mediterranean diet, keto, meaning low carb, if needed, and just starting to swap out. And the reason I'm going to go back to beef again is because beef is very raising cattle. It is very hard on the planet. It's very inefficient for the amount of acres that are needed for the amount of output of the food that is produced. Is very hard on the planet and inefficient. So it's a choice. It's a choice. And I completely understand and respect some people that is how they make their living. That is their profession, and it has been for generations. But changes are continuing to come. But you can educate yourself, and there's so many wonderful nutritious recipes that you can get available via your internet. So just choose, and you have to be practical, because if you work with a nutritionist, or you work with a naturopath, or you work with a chef or whomever, or just with a friend who's a good cook and is going to give you some pointers. And if you start to put together a meal plan for yourself, and it's got a lot of things in it that you won't eat, that you don't like, well, it doesn't make any sense. If you just absolutely hate Brussels sprouts, well, don't don't plan, a meal or cooking with a lot of Brussels sprouts. But just, be realistic about that. And when you work to increase your steps in the day, and a fun way to do that can be, you can choose to put a free app on your phone, a pedometer app, or maybe it's on your wristwatch, on those Apple iPhones, or whatever kind of phones. When you just get those more steps in the day, and again, you can be very busy. Well, make it simple. You get to a building. Are you going to take the elevator to the sixth floor? Why don't you walk up the stairs? Why don't you purposefully park somewhere far from the door of the building. So you have to get that, brisk 5 minute walk in to get to the building. Just kind of naturally build some steps into your day. And you'll be surprised. They'll start to add up as you make it just be, be a choice in your day, because you are what you eat and you are the number of steps you take in a day.
True. It really makes sense when you said that food is an addiction. And I think that I always knew that food is addiction, but then it's actually a very, very serious addiction. It's more serious than, when you say it's more addictive than cocaine, that's a problem. So thank you so much for all the tips that you have given us. My next question would be about money, actually. Money matters seem to put a lot of people under stress. What is the spiritual significance of money, and what are we supposed to learn from money energy?
The spiritual significance of money, it is simply a resource. And resources are meant to be used wisely. But with the different monetary systems, the different fiscal systems, and so much of the world being capitalism, there's no perfect system, and it's just been very, very messy, because there's been a lot of socialization and distrust, and there's been a lot of uh, dogma around money. Some of the expressions that we hear humans use, like money is the root of all evil, that's not true. Money is neutral. Think of money as a resource, as an object, as an item, but it's loaded, of course, because it has power associated with, based on how much of it you have, what you can do with it, what you choose to do with it. Again, it's a resource that's meant to be used wisely. But in this capitalistic system, certainly some of the world is in socialism and communism, in other different systems, and it's just I think what can be helpful there, because so many people, as you said, are stressed by it. And I don't think they're stressed by money. I think they're stressed by feeling a perceived lack. So, what we're really talking about is poverty consciousness versus prosperity consciousness. That is part of what is being up leveled and raised with the movement that Earth has made up to 5D, up to the fifth spiritual dimension. And it's just creating an affirmation for yourself, something along the lines of, I have everything I need and more. And really emphasis on and more, and just not fixating on X dollars in the bank, X dollars in savings or in investments, etc. Because it just becomes like this crazy game of Monopoly, like you feel that you can never win and can never finish playing the game. And again, that's coming from often from lack, from poverty consciousness. So there's going to be some disruptions. Certainly, we're seeing those financial systems, as you mentioned, just toppling, and we just want people to know that there is enough abundance. There's beautiful, sufficient abundance for everyone on the planet. So it's just getting that redistributed in some ways, and that's why you're seeing systems are being dismantled. It's not easy, because feeling like there's not enough money to keep a roof over your head, or to take care of your children, or to have enough food on the table, or purchase transportation, or whatever feels most important to you, can, yes, be very stressful. So that's an opportunity to go within. That's an opportunity to really look at those emotions, and journal and meditate and ask for help to understand where that feeling is coming from, where that emotion is coming from. Often it's some lower chakras needing some some clearing out, some upgrading, some enhancing of the root chakra, being responsible for health, wealth and career, harmonious relationships, purpose. The sacral chakra, the joy, the creativity, the sensuality, the sexuality. The solar plexus, the seat of the self, the self worth, the self confidence, the self respect, the self compassion, the boundaries, the heart, the throat being the expression, the third eye, just being able to take in that beautiful information psychically, the clear seeing, feeling, hearing, sensing, knowing, the crown chakra connecting with the divine. And so just being able to pay attention to where do you feel in your body that feeling of being scared that there's not enough money, or feeling that you don't know what to do with your money, that you don't know what your strategy should be, because it can also be, fear and indecision. Or if you're just feeling, what's that expression? The need to keep up with the Joneses, meaning comparing to other people and spending more than you actually need to or want to on a lavish car or home or vacation or clothing, or $300 haircut, or whatever it might be. If that truly nourishes your soul and you can easily afford it, wonderful. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. But look at, are you doing that because it truly is going to be good for you and make you happy? Or is it just going to kick off this cycle of more, 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 more? Because it's very empty, because again, there's a psychology to that of can't wait to purchase this shiny thing, this shiny bright thing, and then you get it and you're excited, and then there's something called post purchase dissonance that just kicks in very quickly, and it's like, oh, I thought I would be so thrilled that I purchased this luxury car, and now it's kind of feeling like flat, because it's not nourishing your soul. So, does that help with that question?
That does help. Thank you so much, Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael, you're often associated with truth and justice, and people are. I mean, I read about how you on the Judgment Day, you are weighing souls on the Judgment Day. Is that true? And how did this come into picture? Like, how did this sort of a image about Archangel Michael come into the collective?
Yes, I am associated with truth. You took the words out of my mouth. A blue sort of truth. Please let go of the religious uh, heaviness around Judgment Day. I
Mm.
am not going to judge anyone. God is not going to judge anyone. You are your own judge, and you are so harsh on yourselves in so many ways. It's why some souls are afraid to even rise up when they have. It's been the last day of that lifetime and they've left their body. They're afraid to even rise up and come on back home, up to the light, and because they don't feel worthy of it, and they're so afraid that they're going to be judged and sent to hell or sent to purgatory. That's all man made. Can you go those places? Yes, you chose it. You chose
Mm.
it. And realize what powerful creators and co-creators you all are. And so that that one piece of what you said, I encourage everyone to please let go of. Will you have marvelous reunions at home with elders, with guides, with masters, with angels, council of elders, whatever term you might use? Absolutely. But it is done with so much love for you that it helps make you whole, because there can be things that you did, felt, said, experienced, ways you behaved that you're so ashamed with, so upset by, that you can't even look at it. And then you're not whole. So we will help love you back to wholeness, but not through judgment.
Hmm. I'm guessing, Archangel Michael, you are probably, I think Wendy is feeling the pain that people go through when they transition and they're holding on to all the feelings of guilt. And that's what's making Wendy emotional there. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I can feel, she can feel those lower vibration energies. Those are, as I said, just the shame, just is very, very low vibration, and it really holds people back. So be your own best friend and just love yourself every day. You deserve it. You're meant to do that. And Mother Mary is coming in, and she would like to address that. So thank you, Michael. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. This is Mother Mary. And I just want to take over with what Michael was saying. You're meant to be kind to yourself, and it can be hard to do, because depending on how you were raised, depending on your personality, people are their own worst enemy and judge, and it's not meant to be that way. So just love yourself, be realistic. When you've made mistakes, done things, or not done things that you wish, do your best to make it right. Just do your best, and then let it go, and let every day, let every dawn, let every new day truly be a new day, and just start fresh.
Thank you, Mother Mary. Mother Mary, would you have um, any advices for us during this time where we're going through all of these changes? We're transitioning from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga. I mean, I guess that's what is happening. Do you have any advices for us on how to deal with just our life?
Yes, my advice would be, to what I'll just recap what we've all been communicating through Michael, and now through me, is just do your best to be kind to yourself, to raise your vibration and frequency, to enjoy your life, to be kind to yourself, to do your best to be kind to those around you. And there is no point to you judging those around you, because you don't know what their path is. You don't know what they're carrying. You don't know what they're meant to do. So just do your best to be understanding. Doesn't mean that you're going um, to be vibrating in the same place with everyone. There's certain people you're not meant to spend much time with, or need to gently remove from your life, and that's fine too. That's an act of self-love and self-compassion at times. And just tune into that beautiful loving voice in your head. If you have a best friend, regardless of who that best friend is, how they make you feel, how they speak to you. and make sure that that's the voice that you're listening to in your head and in your heart. And that's the voice that you develop for yourself. And when we do that, we're naturally so much more relaxed, peaceful, loving, joyous. And then we just naturally are way showers and are helping, give a helping hand and helping everyone around us to rise up and do the same.
I love that, Mother Mary. Mother Mary, as a mom, how can I cultivate um, spiritual practices in my child? As a child, as me, when I was a child, we used to go to the church every Sunday, but that doesn't resonate with me anymore. So, how can I raise my child in a blend of both?
Yes. So depending, of course, on the age of your child, every child is different, and what their interests are, and what their mission is, and what they're here for. So simply exposing your daughter to what you believe in, what you enjoy. Teaching her about nature. Teaching her about spiritual beings. Energy beings. Whatever feels right to you, and then she's just going to be broad minded and open heart, and then she will be well prepared to make her own decisions as she becomes a teenager, as she becomes a young adult, as she becomes an adult. You'll just be giving her a beautiful foundation without this harsh proselytizing of this is the one way, this is the only way, this is what we believe, this is the only way it can be done. um, and just it may be an old-fashioned word, but virtues. Just teaching her um, how you would want to be treated. Teaching her fairness and respect and kindness and compassion to the earth, to animals. Just whatever is important to you, just sharing that with your child, and just seeing what her interests are. Maybe she will love to also to journal as she gets older. Maybe it starts off as coloring and just self-expression that way, but then starts to journal. Maybe she's going to love oracle cards as a way of just drawing a card and understanding and thinking through that message. Is can be the beautiful thought for the day, the affirmation for the day. And just whatever rituals you create together. Does that help?
Oh, that does. I think that is beautiful. I like the affirmation cards. I think my daughter is 5. And when you said maybe she loves coloring, she does love coloring. And maybe she would do journaling later. Maybe she might be interested in affirmation. So that does make, that helps, Mother Mary. During
Wonderful.
Mother Mary, during Wendy's sessions with the groups, I have seen you do healing on the sessions. Can you tap into the collective now, or the people who would be tuning into this, um, the conversation later on, and maybe if there are any uh, energies that need to be released or any healing that needs to occur, could you
Yes.
do that for
Yes.
us? Thank you.
Fantastic. That's a fantastic question. We did that right at the beginning by doing the Thank You Angels prayer. And again, just encouraging everyone, keep the faith. Just trust you're here for a reason. You chose this lifetime. You can find ways to make it be peaceful and loving and happy, and just be in gratitude. And whatever you can do to feel that energy, it just naturally will buoy everyone. All boats rise with the tide, and it creates more of that. Whatever you can do to visualize a planet that is prospering, and a planet that is beautiful, and just with whatever you would like to visualize, whatever's important to you. Many people are here with specific missions. Many are here with missions to help uh, reimagine the food supply, to improve things for the animals, to do things to help specifically cool Earth off, to help the trees. I mean, there's just thousands and thousands and millions of specific plans and objectives. So just pay attention to what you're feeling drawn to, and do not stop yourself by thinking, oh, I'm just one person. Oh, I can't really get anything done in this area. Stop. Just stop. Stop that sort of uh, negativity, and just do what you can. So, for instance, we gave Wendy a big objective, and part of her life purpose is to help specifically with improving life for the animals on the planet. And we just then broke it down for her because she was objecting and going, well, I don't know how to help with this, I don't know what to do about that. It's like, stop with the can'ts, won'ts, don'ts, shouldn'ts, couldn'ts. Just turn it around. What can I do? What can I do right now? What would I enjoy? What do I feel drawn to? And when you're in that place, then the opportunity will come up. It'll be right there, in front of you, and you will find how you can start taking those actions. For instance, what can you do to help Mother Earth? Can you recycle? Can you compost? Can you start doing things like that? Can you drive less? Can you carpool? Can you work from home some days? Just take your bike certain places, walk certain places. Just start to think that way. And it doesn't mean you sell your car and never drive in a car again. It's just finding some ways to change, bit by bit by bit, and have fun doing it, and just being creative to be more supportive to the planet so she can cool herself off. Educating yourself is key, and just learning what really is the truth, and then continuing each time to go within and what's true for you. Can you start using less toxic cleaning products and chemicals, and beauty products, and toiletries? Can you make different choices in those areas? Things like that, they really matter. And when you start doing those things, you'll just get more and more momentum going. Did I answer your question, or did I go off track?
You did answer my question. Thank you so
Okay,
much, Mother Mary.
good.
Mother Mary, it was wonderful to have you come and speak with us and for sending your healing energy. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I will go ahead and bring Wendy back in. Know that we're always with you, and know that everyone is going to be taken care of through big changes that may be coming. And as Michael said, just do some emergency preparedness, and just have some things on hand, like you should, just because there can be storms, there can be weather changes, there can be real changes coming as Earth continues to cool herself to be habitable, for everyone, and everything that's here. So thank you for having us. Thank you for who you are, Tanya, and for your program. I'm bringing Wendy back in. Oh my goodness! I can always tell when Mother Mary comes, and I'm like, why did I put eyeliner on? I could just feel the tear. And the reason for that is the ascended masters and angels, they just have such a beautiful high vibration and purity. It just really can kind of cleanse us through 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 tears coming.
Oh, wow. That was a beautiful session. Wendy, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel during the trance and then after the trance?
I just feel so fortunate because I always learn something new. I just feel more peaceful, more calm. My back feels wonderful. I know they did some healing and we're bringing in some white light for the spine at one point. I can really feel and benefited from that. But it's just a wonderful way to just ground and clear. And I'm just so grateful that I created this marvelous soul contract to be able to do this channeling before I arrived, before I
I
was
love
born.
that. I love that. Have you ever felt like, am I on the right path or I should change? Is this
Absolutely.
okay?
I'm human.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yes, yes, just those
Hmm.
those challenges come up and what I try and do is not shy away from those human emotions and just say, "Okay, why am I really feeling that?" and just peel the onion to, get to what's really causing that, what triggered it. And then I just thank it for that. And then I do different things. I might meditate and clear my energy and clear my chakras and send it down my grounding cord. I might send it up to the divine. I might write down on a little sheet of paper, I feel whatever it is, and go outside and just ask for help to really feel that emotion and to then be able to release it, because emotions get stuck in our bodies, they get stuck in our energy system. So I go outside and I have a coffee can that I use because I don't have a fire pit to burn things outside, and just the fire, the little coffee can. And I just asked to really feel that emotion that I was struggling with and didn't want to feel, because that's the problem, is like this push pull, because we don't want to feel it. So if we don't want to feel it, what we resist persists because it's still stuck there
Yeah.
because we don't know what to do with it. So then I go outside and ask for help to really feel it for 15 seconds. And then that just brings up the tough stuff. And then I just burn up that little note where I'd written, I feel, whatever it is. And I just get that help to let it go. And that's spiritual surrender to me. And I just feel so much lighter after that. I can often feel it like come off my shoulders, or like my neck just feels better, and spine, because it's like I was like carrying that around, like, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid of this, or I'm so stressed about this, or so angry about this. And it's just stuck in your body. Certainly, taking a wonderful walk by the water is another great way to release things. So just get down there and then just, okay, I'm going to let it go and let it go. And thank you for helping me let that go over the water. So, is another way. Or standing and just touching a tree, or literally hugging a tree, or sitting or standing with your back to it. You can let things go down to Mother Earth because it'll go through those tree roots, and the tree will just help you, let something go. So I think those things are just so helpful, because otherwise we can just be that quagmire of triggered, triggered, triggered.
Yeah, that is true. Wendy, you've been doing this for like many years, right? And I just came into the whole thing maybe 1 or 2 years back. That's it. And from my experience, it sounds like, okay, 2024 was, by the end of 2024, something great is going to happen. Then in 2025, it's like the grand finale. It's like the big thing where everything is going to come up. But I'm just very new to the whole, the whole thing. From your perspective, or from what you have seen over the years, is it actually like something is going to happen, or is it just something that all the podcasters say because that's how they get views or something?
I think everything's happening all the time. It's just
Hmm.
we don't have the full picture at the time. I think numerology makes sense when you look at what the year is, and right now we're in a year, 2025 is a year of of completion. So that completion is always
Mm,
new beginnings. It's like
yeah.
Shiva, destroy, create. It's just that's like an infinity. It's an infinity loop. So yes, I personally believe that there's going to be profound change with a big bang, so to speak, in the form
Okay.
of an incredible flash of light that's going to give everyone this amazing kickstart up, to raise our vibration and frequency. But there's a lot of purging through that process, and I think a lot of it's going to be some crazy, crazy weather. So when I really sat with my guides and said, did I do, my emergency preparedness well enough? Is there anything else, you'd like me to do? Because I did kind of the basics, and for non-perishable food, it's like you may not have room for a ton of canned goods. Well, that's fine. Just get a big bag of rice and a big bag of beans, in a plastic bag, or you can buy like the emergency, food bucket kits, whatever. I mean, you can go on like the American Red Cross site and they'll just have suggestions, and then just have, it can be small, of, what you might need, because you might be in a small space, or again, it's a little bit of an investment to purchase some of that, but it's just common sense things to have. I got like some life straws. I got some of the little chemical tablets, in case I couldn't boil water, because I do believe there's going to be some big changes with some flooding, and that can contaminate the water supply. So that's something I've heard pretty consistently from the guides, because you can't practically stockpile water. You can't have tons and tons of clean water in plastic bins or glass bottles or whatever. So having, some ways to do that, if there's a temporary situation like that. But again, just prepare, like in the energy of I'm taking care of me and my family, and like have fun with it. Like if you were ever like a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout, or did
Mm,
camping, just kind of like think, okay, what's my other way to be able to cook? What's my other way to be able to heat or cool my home? So I purposefully, in my house, I have propane for heating, but I also have electricity for heating. I have propane for cooking. I can also cook with electricity. So if one or the other is out, um, and as I said, I've got some ways to clean water. I've got some ways to create light. I did buy a small solar generator, so it doesn't use gas. And you need to keep that, ready to go, and then just plan on there being some sunny days, and you can replenish it, for without electricity. So I think just those sorts of things, and knowing that we're all going to be okay. We're going to figure it out. And as I said, neighbors help neighbors. I used to live in a beautiful neighborhood on Seattle's east side that was heavily treed. And because we had above ground power lines, we lost power a fair bit in that lovely neighborhood. And I was so impressed because neighbors would just check on neighbors, particularly if it was really cold out or really hot out, and say, "Hey, are you okay? I've got a generator. Do you need to come over?" And one neighbor made this huge pot of soup, and he literally went around door to door and said, "Hey, do you have hot food? Are you okay? Do you need anything?" Um, and I think that's what we're meant to do, and that's exactly what these different crises or disasters that come up is. It brings out the helpers, and just look at what you can do to help, and just go around and check on neighbors that might be elderly or might have a big family, or it might be might need some help, just who to go check on.
wow. That's That's a very good way to a positive way to look at it. Like, think of it like a scout and then just have all of these supplies ready. I love that.
Right,
When
right, exactly. Versus because if you go to it and like you're really scared about it and you're
Yeah.
nervous, I mean, then you start stockpiling and then it turns
Yeah.
into the opposite of what it's meant to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That turns into people who are, seeing doomsday and the end of the world and start stockpiling weapons. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about, just how to keep yourself, fed and comfortable, and just those sorts of things. So when I asked my guides, do I need anything else? And it was so funny. I'd hardly asked the question, and they said, you need a really good pair of rubber boots. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like,
Okay.
okay, fine. So, I plunked down $100 and bought a really good pair of rubber boots. And then I asked them, I was like, do I need anything else? They said, nope, you're good to go. It's like,
Oh,
okay.
wow. This, all of this, I mean, this one is like all of these things seem to be happening in the US area, US North America area, or is it just like worldwide?
Worldwide. It's absolutely worldwide. It's just the US is just big and noisy.
Oh,
Just has a lot of communication and a large population, and just it's happening everywhere. I mean, there's different the world, the temperatures, the weather, the very different weather. It's happening worldwide. It's just you hear about it when all of a sudden it's City of Angels, it's Los Angeles, because that is actually, I think, a blessing in disguise. Because just when it's Jamie Lee Curtis um, and Billy Crystal that lose their homes, when it's well known, like beloved entertainers, it just gets people's attention. It
yeah.
seems more tragic. And
Yeah.
I don't think it is more tragic. It's tragic for anyone to lose their home. It's more tragic when it's someone who cannot easily replace it. And please don't hear me wrong. I'm not saying all celebrities are wealthy. I'm not saying it can't be, devastating. But I just think it gets the attention, and that's what's going on. So, does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, it does. Because even I felt like in the beginning of Jan, LA is a place where there are so many influencers, people with millions and billions of followers. And the fact that this happened there, so it gets everybody's attention,
Yes,
there had to
exactly.
be something there for the rest of us as well. So,
Yes, exactly. And as I said, in the U.S., California is very associated with wildfires because yes, it's a very dry state, but there's actually been much more devastation in Texas and in Alaska. But it's just, that's not what most people think of because it's the news media. It's California. So that, the tragedy of wildfires in California.
makes
So
sense.
again, it's kind of like the news influencing. So as I said, you just have to know how to fact check and just, just always run it through your own heart and your discernment. Does this make sense to me? Does that sound true? Is that because when you're listening to a wonderful documentary or movie or podcast, there can be big portions of it's like, yes, this makes sense, oh, I agree. And then there's this little no, 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 that's not
Mm-hmm.
right. That's not my truth. So you just have to be able to separate that wheat from the chaff and not be just taking it all in, because that would be us giving our power away. I mean, that's the power of a cult, is let me do your thinking for you. Let me control your life for you. That's not we're not meant to and again, I'm just kind of surprised by the number of people that that is part of their experience, and they were either born into it, or they were in it, for a time period, and then realized, no, this is not resonating for me anymore, and they're hopefully able to make a different, a different choice. Sometimes that is not easy. So, but I believe we're meant to be here with our free will and be very sovereign in our energy and in our own power.
Mm, true. I love that. Wendy, I can't imagine how much courage and resilience it takes to do the work that you do, which is so non-traditional, and you still continue to do it. You are doing so much good work for humanity. Thank you so much, Wendy, for doing what you do. Can you please tell us about all the projects that you're working on and where we can find
Certainly.
you?
Well, I just like to say it's my absolute privilege. I just feel really, really fortunate. So, projects, I have recently published my third book, Regression Healing 2, Joe and Marilyn, and people can find more information about that on my website. So that's kind of the main thing going on is some wonderful writing. So starting to work on the next books, and just kind of a balancing up life, meaning I have the pleasure. I just spent my first week part time, three days a week, taking care of my granddaughter. Oh my
Oh,
God,
she's so cute. She's
is
adorable.
adorable. Thank you. So it's just wonderful. So I just kind of like moved my client schedule around, and now I'm working with clients on different days. But that's that just kind of like the main things going on.
And you also have your podcast.
Yes, my podcast is wakingupspiritually.com is where it is archived. And I co-host with Greg Kirk, and we typically podcast just the two of us, and it's a lot of energy information. We might be channeling or different things. And then occasionally we have guests. So we have some marvelous guests like Julie Ryan in February, who's an incredible psychic medium, and she's going to be sharing some beautiful information about angelic attendants that help each one of us as we pass over and leave the body and go on back up to the light. So we'll be speaking with her in February. And then in April, we have another really special guest that'll be coming on.
Oh, nice. When do you have the group channeling sessions in Jan and Feb? And
Yes.
probably it's already booked out, I guess.
There's still some openings for the next group event, and you can visit my website to sign up for it. It's wendyrosewilliams.com, and go to the events tab, and you will see the Ascended Master and Angel channeling and healing that Tanya mentioned at the beginning and has kindly been the moderator for several times. So, yes, there are still some seats left for that. So check out the events tab and other different events in addition to how to work together privately. And some of the other group events are things like learning more about your life purpose, what has gone on in your past lives, and how to embrace and let go of that, what's not serving you, and bring forward what is serving you, who your guide is. So different group events like that.
Beautiful, beautiful. I highly recommend you guys go check it out because those events are really good. I've seen how the people who attend the group events, they would come in with a sort of lot of stress, and then once Wendy channels and then Mother Mary speaks to them, or Yashua or Mary Magdalene speaks to them, you can see that dark energy lifting off, and they then become all happy and chirpy after the ascended masters speak to them. So I've like visibly seen the difference that happens. So I highly recommend going for it. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I so appreciate that. And as I said, it's just my honor to get to be a voice for some just amazing angels and ascended masters. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for coming on this podcast and for the brilliant conversation that we had. I'm sure that this is going to really transform people, whoever comes upon this video and watches it. So thank you so much, Wendy. Please, I hope you do come again and speak to us. So thank you.
My pleasure. I'd be happy to anytime. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.